Breaking news, a new vaccine mandate has been approved for San Diego Unified School District. Find out more in tonight's show.
Did San Diego State stay undefeated? And which boxing icon decided to hang up his gloves? Stick around and I'll have it all in sports.
Hey Halloweeners, this weekend kicks off Spooktober. Find out where to celebrate all things fall this weekend with me in entertainment.
And Biden is making some changes to the Daca policy to help immigrants. Learn more from my in-depth report. Newscene starts now. Good evening. I'm Jillian Fortner, and welcome to this week's edition of Newscene, a broadcast produced by the students of San Diego City College. Every Wednesday, we bring you the latest news of the week. The college requires everyone to wear a face mask indoors, and that includes all of our crew here in the studio. We have an exemption for those of us on camera. We continue to follow all necessary local, state, and federal guidelines to ensure a safe environment for those back on campus. But we remain focused as ever on bringing you the latest. We start tonight's show with some breaking news. The San Diego Unified School District Board has approved a new vaccine mandate. The new rule was approved unanimously at last night's board meeting. The decision came after an hour of discussion over a live Zoom call. It is for students ages 16 and older, in addition to district staff. They will be required to get their second dose at the start of winter break. Students ages 15 and under are not yet affected by the mandate. And the county is making it easier to get tested for COVID-19 in southeastern San Diego. The news comes after Tubman's Chavez Community Center closed. Local churches are stepping in for sites for free testing, and those tests will now be offered 7 days a week. And it's official. A COVID-19 booster shot has been approved, and people who are at high risk will be eligible. The director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention made the call last week. She overruled a recommendation endorsed by the agency's advisory panel. The eligibility not only includes those over 65, but workers in high-risk settings, such as teachers and grocery workers. In other news, California's eviction moratorium will end this Thursday. It comes as many San Diegans continue to struggle to pay their rent. The law had prohibited landlords from evicting tenants as long as they paid 25% of their monthly fees. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will propose a $5 million program for eviction education and legal defense. That is expected next week. The high death rate of Black women giving birth is finally getting the attention of California's governor. A new bill on his desk would track mortality data better than expand access to doulas and midwives. Those charged with looking at the data would also be charged with making recommendations to reduce racial gaps. Within the state, Black mothers were 6 times more likely to die than white mothers. And Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill making voting by mail a permanent option for voters in California. The Bill 37 allows for mail-in ballots to be sent to all registered voters in the state. California is now the 8th state to push forward with this plan. But don't worry, voters can still cast their ballots in person on Election Day. And the threat of deportation is very serious. For this week's in-depth report, we are talking about the policy changes coming to Daca, the program that is supporting many young immigrants in the country. The Biden administration has announced it's taking steps to preserve Daca, protecting thousands of immigrants who came to the U.S. as young children. Daca was created back in 2012, and it protects young people who are known as dreamers from deportation. With the help of Daca, dreamers can get the authorization to remain in the country, as well as other benefits such as work permits. But the program has faced countless legal battles over the years over whether the program was properly implemented. Back in July, a federal judge in Texas ruled Daca as unlawful and halted acceptances of applications. With Biden's new proposal, Daca would be recreated as a formal policy and ultimately shield hundreds of thousands of immigrants from deportation. In this promotional video from Immigrants Rising, Daca recipients remind immigrants that they are more than just a legal status.
Your lack of legal documents or legal status doesn't make you any less of a person.
And don't go anywhere yet because we'll be back right after the break.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Newscene. Now we're going to be talking about Facebook. Facebook has paused the development of a kid's version of Instagram. The new app was geared towards children 13 and under. The head of Instagram says the delay will give them time to work with parents, experts, policymakers, and regulators. The announcement comes after the Wall Street Journal reported that Facebook was aware that the use of Instagram by teenage girls led to anxiety and mental health issues.
Thanks, Jillian. R&B superstar R. Kelly has been convicted in his sex trafficking trial. The jurors found R. Kelly guilty of charges including the exploitation of minors and separate charges for sex trafficking. Several of his accusers came forward in court telling their stories of what they endured from the singer when they were minors. For much of his career, R. Kelly has been accused of having inappropriate relations with underage women. That included R&B singer Aaliyah, who he married when she was only 15. R. Kelly could now face decades in prison. Sentencing is set for May 4th, 2022. And switching gears, it's time to get into the spooky spirit here in San Diego. We have your list of activities to sink your teeth into. Grab those pumpkin spice lattes and your whole family and make your way to one of the many pumpkin patches opening this weekend. There are plenty of locations that are free in admission, including one in PB and Mission Valley and all the way to Bonita Farms. And for those hoping to grab some brats and beers, this weekend also kicks off Oktoberfest 2021. Grab your friends and get ready for giant pretzels, beer gardens, and Oompa dancing. You'll find it at one of the several Oktoberfest celebrations going on in San Diego County. General admission tickets and dates can be found online for locations in La Mesa, El Cajon, Encinitas, and OB. Finally, for the first time this year, SeaWorld has opened its own Halloween attraction called Hallow Scream. The park transforms at night into a hellish nightmare that is sure to get you into the Halloween spirit. The event features several haunted houses for you to survive through and keeps you on your toes as ghoulish creatures haunt your every move. Tickets and prices are located on SeaWorld San Diego's website. I hope to see you all at these hauntingly fun events. Back to you, Jillian.
Thanks, Estrella, for bringing us the latest in entertainment. I can't wait for this upcoming spooky season.
San Diego State's football.
And the LGBT community is celebrating in Switzerland. Voters supported same-sex marriage by over 60%. Under the new law, same-sex couples can get married, adopt children not related to them, and facilitate their spouse citizenship. Lesbian couples will also be allowed to have children through sperm donation. Switzerland is one of the last countries in Western Europe to accept same-sex marriage. And with the Chargers gone, San Diego has another football team that has been representing the city. San Diego State games have been fun to watch lately as they just can't be stopped. Assad, how did they do in their last game?
Well, thank you, Jillian. Well, San Diego State's football team just keeps winning. They dominated Towson 48-21 to remain undefeated. Trailing early, the Aztecs defense recovers a muff snap by the Tigers quarterback, Chris Ferguson. That would then set up Kagan Williams for an 8-yard touchdown run. San Diego then attacks the air with this 16-yard touchdown pass from Lucas Johnson. Special teams wanted in on the action, so they got it with this block punt that they returned for 6. The Aztecs running backs were dominant the entire day with 295 yards and 4 touchdowns on the day. Looking ahead to a bye week, head coach Brady Hoke has championship goals.
It's got to be a championship run. I mean, every game's important, obviously. Being undefeated right now is great. That's all wonderful. But we've got to learn how we need to win a championship by what we've done to this point.
It's going to be fun to see how that team turns out. And in other news, a boxing legend has decided to hang up his gloves for good.
It is difficult for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over. Today, I am announcing my retirement.
Pacquiao made the announcement late last night in a video he posted to his social media. He's the only boxer to win a major championship in 8 different weight divisions. His career was vast as he held a major title across 4 separate decades, the only boxer to accomplish that feat. The 42-year-old will be remembered for his incredible speed, skill, and willingness to fight the best over his storied career. He is also a senator of the Philippines and is currently campaigning to become the president of his native country. But that's all I have for sports. Back over to you, Jillian.
Thanks, Assad. And finally tonight, who needs the iPhone when you can get a Wendy's phone? Wendy's is giving away 20 Samsung Galaxy smartphones from now until October 17th. The phones are red, branded with the Wendy's logo, and have a voice assistant that responds to "Hey Wendy's." But US burger lovers, bad news. The giveaway is only available for those living in Canada. And that's all we have for tonight's News Scene. Stay up to date on all the latest headlines from City College and our community. Find out all on sdcitytimes.com. And remember to follow SD City Times on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm Jillian Fortner. Thank you and good night.